Hey guys, today I have a crap ton of books. So I've been reading these books for a while. Obviously, they're very big and I'm missing 2 of them because I lended them to my sister. I kind of fell off them for a couple of months because I just got a slow part and my life got busy, but I jumped back on probably last Thursday, so a week ago, and I finished the series. I read 3 books in 1 week. I think that's over 2,500 pages. I have some things to say, so this episode is going to be a book review of the Throne of Glass Sarah J. Maas series. Alright, let's get into it. Oh. So I don't have the first 2 books because I lent them to my sister, but I can recall them from memory. So the 2 ways you can read this series are a little complicated, and this confused me a lot, and this is why I never read the chronological first book. This is how I read it. So you can read it chronologically in the timeline of these books, okay? So you could read Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, on and on and on, right? And at the same time, there are 2 books in the series that you can tandem read, which is where you read them at the same time. It's these 2 right here, since upside down. There are lots of online guides on how to read these. The second way you can read these, which is how I planned to do it, but I got confused, okay? So in the second way, you still tandem read these, okay? These books come later in the series. This is the 6th and 7th book, so that doesn't even matter. Second way, you can read Throne of Glass, and then Crown of Midnight, and then Hair of Fire. And then you can read Assassin's Blade. It is recommended that you read Assassin's Blade after the first 3 books because it has more of an emotional impact and it keeps you really suspended between these 2 books and the first one. So that was my plan. I saw something where it was like, oh, you could read it at the end and it'll be this is her backstory, all this stuff. No. After the first 3 books, it all gets spoiled. So I already know everything that happens in the first book and I did not read it. Like I said, 2 ways to read it: chronological, or you could read it the romance way, which is what people call it, which is Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Hair of Fire, and then Assassin's Blade, and then everything else is just normal how it was published, except you have the option to tandem read these 2 books. So now on to my actual review of the series instead of just mansplaining how to read it. You wouldn't think that you would need to have a guide on how to read a book, but here we are. Let me start with the first book that I read, Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is about a girl named Selena Sardatine. I don't know how to say it, but I'll put it up here. Selena, I don't know. She is an assassin, and I don't have the synopsis with me, so I'm trying to say it without spoiling anything. She's been asked to compete in a tournament of sorts for the king of Darlin, who's this big country. They're very look at me, and if she wins, she gets freed from this slave camp that she has been put in after she was captured by Adarlinians. I don't know, but basically we don't like Adarlin, but she doesn't want to be in that camp anymore, so she's gonna do whatever the heck he wants her to do, okay? So the whole first book is her going through this tournament, and she finds out some other nefarious going-ons, and obviously it's a magical world, so that plays into it a lot. That's more of a side plot that becomes very main in these 2 books. I don't have much to say about Throne of Glass. Personally, it was my least favorite in the series. Not that it was bad, but I usually just have a thing where I never like the second book in a series. I just feel like they always fall off. So, yeah. It was good, but the rest of these are just so much better. After this point in the video, there will be spoilers for the entire series. You will learn everything about it, okay? So, don't watch it anymore if you don't want any spoilers. I spared you for Throne of Glass because I do not remember it very much. I read it months ago. The next book in the series is Crown of Midnight. Crown of Night was probably my favorite in the series before I got to like the last few books. This book was so good, okay? So basically, Selena has won the tournament, obviously. Alright, she's won the tournament, everything is cool. Well, now she is the King of Adarlan's hired assassin. She has to do whatever he says, or he'll kill her friend, more than friends, the captain of the guard, okay? His name is Cole, and so she's kind of got a love triangle going on between Cole and Dorian, which is the king's son, okay? I don't really care about the love triangle, to be honest, because later on in the book, obviously, it just goes away. It's so much more plot heavy, and I don't like books that's just all about, like, the romance. Like, this book is so good, and so I'm just gonna kind of skim over that stuff, alright? I'm actually realizing I'm not very good at this, because I literally read this one so long ago, but it was so good. I'm just gonna skip to the part that I think will be engraved in my brain forever, which is when Selena's best friend, Nehemia, dies. As we know, Selena is a hired assassin, okay? She's been an assassin since she was young. She was taken in by Arabin Hamel, who is the king of assassins, okay? He took her in, raised her, all this stuff, okay? He found her on the side of a riverbank and, you know, raised her to be an assassin, alright? And then sold her off into a slave camp. Selena, she's a bit off the rocker, but that's why I love her so much. That's why I resonate with her so much. Nehemia, she's got her own plans going on, okay? She's a princess from another kingdom, which I will not be able to say this right. I think it's Elwa? I don't know, but Nehemia, she is Selena's best friend, okay? She's there to converse with the King of Adarlan and try to get him to hold off on all of his, slave camps, trying to take over the world, stuff like that, right? I'm like half explaining this, but also spoiling it. Nehemia, she's got her own plans, and she knows what Selena's up to with this whole magic thing, with all of these weird marks showing up. She's teaching Selena how to do all this stuff. It's so hard and complex to explain what is going on, because it's just so much at once. It's so much. And the only way for me to be able to properly explain, the weird marks, the whole thing with Elena and what's his face, her husband, is just to read the book. And it's honestly like the girls who get it, and the girls who don't. Nehemia is dead, right? Halfway through the book, Selena's best friend is dead. What the heck? Cole had some part in this, and this is when I started to hate Cole. He didn't initiate her killing, but if he had said something, it could have been prevented. And I know this was Nehemia's plan to be killed. I know that's what she wanted, but so Selena would go and save the world. But oh my gosh, I can't. And I sobbed at this point. This is when Selena shows her true self, she's always been some kind of unhinged assassin who's, too prideful for her own good, but also it doesn't matter because she's super good at what she does, and etc., etc. But I just thought it was so crazy how she just lost it and just beat the crap out of Cole because she knew. And then she went and she killed the people who killed her. And I just think that Sarah J. Maas's writing is so intricate for her to be able to come up with these things so early on in the series where they get resolved in the last book, the second to last book, stuff like that. Like, we know that she facilitated her death, but like, it's just confirmed like so far later, and I just think it's so amazing that 5,000 pages from now, she planned that. It was all planned from book 2, what was gonna happen to Selena, why it happened to Selena, why Selena was picked, right? So I thought that was just crazy, and I really have some kind of like sick enjoyment out of seeing her go nuts, because she deserves that. Like, I would go nuts if I was, you know, that strong to be able to go on a killing spree. Then if I was that crazy, then I'd do it, you know what I mean? But so yeah, that was one part that I was just like, whoa, this is really good. I just think, even though, you know, the big point happened, Nehemi is dead, she kept the tension going on. You know, after probably, 300 more pages, it continued. Still just like, what's gonna happen? Like, what is Selena's deal? What is Nehemiah's deal? What's the deal with the mirror marks? What's the deal with Elena? Like, all this stuff, right? Selena, when everybody finds out she is Fae, oh my god. At this point in the series, I was still kind of confused. They were using, you know, all of these places, all of these people. So I was still kind of like, alright, what's up with this? Well, a lot was up with this, and I just did not realize. But, you know, they go into the other world, and Selena immediately turns into Fae because all of the magic in Aurelia is gone. So shocked. And then Archer, oh, I hated him so much. I have so many opinions flowing through my mind, but I need to be gone with this, okay? Next up, Hair of Fire. Wait, I'm not done. Selena reveals that she is Aelin Ashriver Galathinius, I think. And, you know, obviously I figured out that she was Aelin a few pages before Cole figured out she was Aelin, but just like, everything is like about what kind of person Aelin is, just like falls into place. Like, before she was just like kind of like broody, like didn't really tell anybody anything, but like now, like, we see her motives. Like, she's a queen of Trasin, like she is this and this, but she's also super swaggering, and like that leads into this book where now she starts to, you know, come into herself, become a queen, act like a queen instead of an assassin who's lived with the king of assassins her whole life, you know? And she had forever denied who she was, her heritage. She didn't want to be that anymore. And this book, she realizes that she actually does want to be that, which is wow. And I'm mostly going to talk about Aelin in this because I know the point of view switch. I know everyone's in different places. Well, I don't really care about Cole and Dorian, so I'm kind of mad at Cole at this point. I didn't like him throughout the whole series. He got a bit better, but I still kind of felt like he was a coward. So, you know the book is going to be good when Aelin is chilling on the rooftops of Wenland, sucking down some alcohol, and she is drunk. When you know it's going to be good when she starts from rock bottom, because the only place you could go is up. Not true in this particular case, but within this book, yes. Aelin is in Wenland. Cole has sent her to Wenland so she can escape. I don't even remember why he sent her. I don't think I understood it when I read it either. I think it was so she could get away from the King of Darling because he's like not cool. So her task as an assassin was to kill Galen Ashriver, her cousin, who is a prince, right? So anyway, she sees Galen. She's like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna kill him. She just doesn't feel like it. And this is the line on page 11, only on page 11, that just got me hooked. This is when I could not set the book down, okay? It had been a week since she'd given up her plan and abandoned any attempt to care at all, and she suspected it'd be many weeks more before she decided she was truly sick of Tegia. or brawling every night just to feel something, or guzzling sour wine as she lay on the rooftops all day. Okay, at this point, she still has so many secrets, you know? Other than her being Fae, other than her being the Queen of Terrassen, like, she's still keeping stuff even from the readers, even though we get to see what she's thinking. And it's so intriguing. I have not read a book where the main female character who's got powers isn't like, oh my gosh, I'm so helpless, I don't know what I'm doing. Where she's so, like forthcoming, like, she's so likable. Then she meets Rowan. I hated Rowan at first, okay? And this is why. Aylin's great-grandmother is Mab. Well, Rowan's great-grandmother is Mala. Mab, Mala, Maeve, they're sisters. So I was kind of like, oh, like, they're Caranam, like, oh, like, a brotherly, sisterly love. I just thought it was weird, but, like, now I get. It's like they had, like, the same aunt, and they were, like, talking to her, which is Maeve. But they were like, oh, aunt, like, referring to her as, and I was like, sorry? You guys are supposed to get together? It's not weird. I swear to God, it's not weird, because, like, it goes so far down the family line. It's like, it would be the same thing as me and Zendaya getting together. That weirded me out at first, but it's not like that. It's not like that. Rowan is here, sent by Maeve, to, like, train her so she can help Maeve. Well, obviously, Aylin is like, I don't want to help Maeve. She's not very nice to me. She's not very nice to my mom. So she goes and she wants to, like, you know, discuss with Maeve, and that doesn't work. So Maeve is like, okay, well, you're gonna stay here and Rowan's gonna train you to use your powers again. She's like, I don't want to use my powers. And Maeve's like, I don't care. Aylin's just kind of struggling a bit. And I was just like, damn, girl, like, when did you get so pathetic? But also, I thought Rowan was not very nice to her either. He was kind of, insert not nice word. I didn't like Rowan. I thought he was really full of himself. I thought he was kind of a prick. And I thought he had no respect for women. I thought he was misogynistic or something. So I didn't like him. And Selena/Aylin didn't like him either. I was like, okay, girl. Like, I just didn't think that they were gonna get along ever. And I was so shocked when they ended up getting along, when they became Caranam. Honestly, there were not many twists in this book, except for the Dorian thing, where Dorian gets possessed by the Vogue. I'm gonna sound horrible for this, but I just did not care. Like, I wanted to go back to Aylin. I just thought Aylin's storyline was so much more interesting, and this is where Manon shows up too. I despise Manon. I despised Manon up until, like, the 5th or 6th book. I thought she was annoying. I thought she thought she was all that, and I guess that was the point. Like, she had character development, but oh my god, I literally skipped over her chapters sometimes because I just didn't care. It was irrelevant. I don't care about your dragon wyvern Abraxos. Like, just go away. Like, I want to see what happens to everyone else. Anyways, there's not much to say about this book. I think it was really good. I think the whole thing between, you know, Aylin, Dorian, whatever, that was, not Aylin and Dorian, Aylin and Rowan, that was really interesting, because, like, you know, we get more backstory, like, all this stuff, and it really sets up for Aylin and, like, her powers. I thought how she explained the powers, like, how, you know, they had to, like, dig deep into themselves and, like, bring it up, and if they went too far, they'd die, all that stuff. I just thought the way she described that was interesting, because you could see the same trope for probably 20 of the other books in my room, but the way she explained it was so interesting. That is going to be it for now, and I'm going to do the other 3 books, 4, 5, the other many books in the next video, and maybe even the next, because a lot more rambling than I intended to do. So I will see you guys next week.